is.
Limitation is sinful.
Limitation is sinful. I want everyone to type that in right now. Limitation is sinful. Limitation is sinful. Type that in again. Limitation is sinful. And that's why even your prosperity is not so much a physical place as it is a spiritual state. And once you find that state in consciousness and in thought, you keep going back and returning to it, and you strengthen your stake in that place. Eventually, you'll buy that real estate. You start to live there. Remember, you only go back to places that you enjoy. Okay, let's read on the next thought. Prophetess Leslie, continue.
When you open yourself to that source of limitless harmony, you destroy the idea of limits.
Great. Prophetess Cynthia, read on.
Limitations are the only sin you can commit, because when you place artificial limits on yourself, you deny your godly nature.
You see, that's all blasphemy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You put artificial limits. When you put artificial limits on yourself, you deny your godly nature. And my godly nature is to roll the stone away. Roll the stone away. Roll the stone away. Why? Because it is sinful. What's sinful about the stone? Because it puts limitation on me. Amen. Okay, and that's why Jesus had to roll the stone away at Lazarus' grave, and the stone was rolled away at his tomb. Why? Because it was sinful to limit him. Sometimes you're put in a place of limitation just so that you can burst forth to show your divinity. That's the reason why Israel was brought to the Red Sea, to a place of limitation, which it takes a divine intervention of the supernatural power of God within you to break you forth into the other side. Okay, let's read that next thought.
You deny God one of his proxies on this material plane.
Good. And that's why you've got to keep moving forward. So move beyond being a limited mortal. Prophet Kelly, can you read the next point?
As Goldsmith says, we ourselves can do nothing.
Good. We ourselves can do nothing. The next point.
In our physical abilities, we remain limited mortals.
Good. See, when you're operating in your physical, that's why you can get nothing with your hands. You got to get it with your mind. Nothing happens in this world without observation. The only things you don't have, the only thing that is not serving you is those that you refuse to observe. When you observe it, it will come and serve you. In other words, service you. It's just waiting for your observation. Life just keeps tapping you on the shoulder and saying, did you see that? No, I didn't see it. That's why you don't have it. The moment you see it, think about it. Prophetess Leslie, you went and you built a house?
Yes. Yes.
You saw it somewhere in your mind, because in the natural, you should not have had a house.
That's true. I saw it in my mind. I did. I had the thought in my mind, and this one particular day I was on the road where I built my house. I was in another person's house, and I said to myself, I said, God, I don't believe that you would let me experience this level of life and not be able to replicate it for myself. And that next day, the owner of that house called me and said, Leslie, I want you to meet with me I'm going to buy a lot on this road. I'm going to build you a house. I not even told him that I wanted a house.
Wow. You never told us that story like that.
It's a lot I've been told.
Oh,
Just can't tell it all. It's true. It was really amazing. And I mean, it was just phenomenal. He said, I'm going to buy this lot. I'm going to build you this house.
Ooh,
So,
Shabbat.
I represented him in purchasing the property. So he purchased the property for me. He put the money up to buy the land. And then he built the house, and he brought plans. He said, okay, well, what do you want to do with these plans? You change them. It was wild.
So you
It was
actually,
wild.
you purchased it with your eyes.
I purchased a ton of
Oh, my.
I did. I purchased it with my eyes.
And see, this
Without saying a word.
and see, these are the secrets that only the mystics know. I watch you there saying you told your son, see it with here. See, we understand the mystery of seeing sight. And you're going to have to see your way through this recession. You have to see your way into the grander scheme of things. I'm really excited. Why? Because I get to see my way. I'm seeing, I'm picturing. I just keep seeing. And I am noticing that things that I am saying out loud has already been seen within, that when I speak it, it is saying, here I am. So nothing happens without your nerve to observe. Oh, Labosha. I don't know how you're sitting still in this chat room. You must have the nerve to observe. Whew. Right now, the Hammond B3 organ would start going. Somebody would be getting up, running in the aisles. Hey! The nerve to observe. Prophetess Deborah, if you have nerve to observe, what could happen?
Master Prophet, you can have it all. As long as you have the nerve to observe, having the nerve to see. That which seems to be impossible is possible.
The nerve to observe. Prophetess Kelly, the nerve. You have the nerve to observe?
Yes, Master Prophet. Have the audacity to observe. Have the audacity to see it. Have the audacity to let your imagination go ahead and do what it does naturally.
Yeah,
That is, see it. And if you can see it, as a little book once told us, if I can see it, I can be it.
Yeraboshata.
Master Prophet, I'm reminded Peter had the nerve to observe.
What did he observe?
He observed Jesus walking out on the water.
Ooh, my.
And because he had the nerves to observe, it caused him to get up and began to walk on the water just like Jesus.
On a word, because he had the nerve to observe it.
That's right. And the question comes tonight, what do you have the nerve to observe? That's the question.
Amen.
And the observing is not just looking at something from afar. It's looking at something and seeing yourself in the picture.
Yes.
Because when Peter looked out and saw Jesus, he didn't see Jesus. He saw Peter.
Oh!
He saw Peter walking on the boat.
Yes.
And so when Jesus said, come, it was just him coming to himself. Because Jesus had already gone out to prepare a place for him out there on the water. So there where he was, Peter might be there also. So that's what we have to do. Move into that place. See ourselves in the picture.
My God. You know what you just did just now? You've closed the gap between the thing thought and the thing experienced. That's where your dam is. It's in the gap. When you see it from afar off, that's hell. Because you got to postpone, because now faith is. Peter saw himself on the water. That was powerful, Prophetess Leslie. Peter saw himself. Because all that time he thought it was a spirit. And it was. It was his spirit. Why did he see it and the other 12 didn't see it? Because the other 12 didn't see it, the other 11 didn't see themselves.